Hey everybody, in today's video I want to take blue Clicky mechanical keyboard switches from the popular brand Cherry MX and compare them to more affordable brands of blue Clicky switches to help you decide what to get and if cheaper keyboards are worth it. So the different brands of switches I'm going to go through today are Cherry MX, Otama, Gateron, and Jixian. So just a quick summary, blue mechanical switches are known for their clicky sound and sharp physical bump when pressed. They are a popular choice for a first mechanical keyboard. The only thing about these keys is that they're loud, which can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on the person. Now for specifics, the Cherry MX blue switches are rated for 60 grams of force to actuate the switch, with a travel distance of 2.2 millimeters to the actuation point and a total distance of 4 millimeters to bottom it out. So the Cherry MX blue switches are very popular and they work well, but how do they compare to more affordable clicky switches? First, we will start with a very popular switch that is found in many budget keyboards, the Otama Blue switch. The Otama Blue switch supposedly has the exact same force and distance specs as a Cherry MX blue switch, but does it feel identical? No, it does not, but not necessarily in a bad way. The feel is a little lighter to press, and the physical bump feels just a little different. The click sounds similar, but not identical, especially on the bigger keys like Shift and Enter. So in my personal opinion, my opinion isn't always a popular one. I like the feel of the Otama switches better. It's not that one feels horrible and the other one is great. It's just that this one feels slightly better to me. I like the slightly lighter feel. As far as sound goes, they both have their unique sound on the letter keys, but on the bigger keys, I like how the Cherry MX sounds. It's a little quieter, but like in a more sophisticated way. I don't know, I like it. But the overall feel and sound of both of these is in the same neighborhood. Moving on to Jixian switches. I never heard of these switches until I got this keyboard, but I like them. Again, the feel is just a little lighter than the Cherry MX blue switches, and the physical bump is not as strong, but it still feels good. The click seems a little louder on the Jixian switches, and again, I kind of like these a little more than the Cherry MX blues. And finally, I have a switch tester here for Gateron blue switches. Gateron switches are another popular alternative to Cherry MX switches, but even though they are more affordable, they are not considered to be cheap quality by many people. So by now you know that I prefer using an entire keyboard to really see what a switch feels like when you're typing, but today this single key will have to do. I can tell that again there is a slightly lighter physical bump on the Gateron switch, but it still feels good. However, the sound of the Gateron and the Cherry MX blue switch sound pretty much identical. Now, the different types of keycaps you have and how the keyboard's constructed will all change the sound a little bit, but I have another tester here with Cherry MX switches, and you could hear for yourself. So Cherry MX switches, they are very popular. They are not considered to be cheap in terms of quality, but keyboards with them do cost more generally than some of these other brands. For example, this keyboard cost me about $80 with Cherry MX switches, and it's not hard to find keyboards that cost over $100 with them, whereas some of these other guys I got, they cost me about $40. So do I think you're gonna be missing out on anything if you don't get Cherry MX blue switches? Do I think you're getting anything extra out of paying the extra dollars? No, not really. Although each brand switch sounds, you know, just a little different, they're all in the same neighborhood. You know, it'd be like ordering Sprite and getting 7-Up. Yeah, it's a little different. You might prefer one over the other, but it's not like ordering Sprite and getting chocolate milk. One thing I can't tell you today is if the Cherry MX switches last longer than some of these other brands. I had an old keyboard with Otama Blue switches, and it lasted me about 3 years before a bunch of the switches started failing. And what I mean by that is sometimes I would press a key and it wouldn't go through, it wouldn't register. And other times I would hit a key and it would think I hit it twice, it would register twice. So, and one time I did get a used Cherry MX keyboard and some of the switches were doing the same thing. So I know it'll happen to all of them eventually, but I don't know if the more expensive brand is gonna last a little longer or not. And recently, a lot of companies have been coming out with optical switches that don't use metal contacts, so they're supposed to last longer, but I'll save that for another video. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. Thank you for all the support and awesome comments on my videos lately, and I'll see you guys in the next one.